With the Lucky Land Slots, you can get lucky just about anywhere.
This is your captain speaking. We've got clear runway and the weather's fine, but we're just going to circle up here a while and get lucky. No, nothing like that. It's just these cash prizes add up quick. So I suggest you sit back, keep your tray table upright, and start getting lucky.
Play for free at LuckyLandSlots.com. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Hey everyone, my name is Cassie, and on Once Upon a Time in Springfield today, my dad and I will be talking about Season 2, Episode 9, Itchy and Scratchy and Marge. Okay, Dad, start the intro.
She's Cassie.
My dad's like Homer, because he always goes out and buys us donuts.
He's Chris.
Cassie used to be a lot like Maggie when she was a baby. She never gave up her pacifier.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to a wonderful evening of theater and picking up after yourself.
This is Once Upon a Time in Springfield, a Simpsons review show from the point of view of a dad and his daughter.
From now on, I'm just gonna sit back and enjoy the ride.
Here they are, Cassie and Chris.
So this week's episode is Season 2, Episode 9, Itchy and Scratchy and Marge. Now in this episode, Marge protests over cartoon violence that led to a cultural renaissance in Springfield.
What the hell is that?
The chalkboard gag this week was, I will not pledge allegiance to Bart.
I'm not sure how to take that because he wasn't really the main part of the show. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe they were like, okay, the focus is not on you, Bart.
Wait.
What?
Wait, that does make sense, what you said.
Maybe, huh?
Yeah.
All right, Cassie, what was the couch gag?
The couch gag was so funny because they came in and there was no couch.
So it's not a couch gag. It's a...
Living room gag.
Living room gag. There we go.
You're all nuts.
Okay, so I have to say it right out the beginning. It did start in the kitchen.
And it usually starts in the kitchen, on the couch, or...
Moe's.
Yes.
Yep. All right, so it started out there with Marge putting spices on her pork chops. And what does Homer say? Something I say not quite a bit. Not the exact words either, but something along these lines.
Let me build you a spice rack.
Which is kind of what I say when I go, hey, let me build you a planter.
But you sometimes want to build a spice rack.
Or sometimes I want to build a free library.
Like we are.
Yeah, that's right, huh? Okay, so anyway, back to the show. Okay, so Homer really stinks at building things.
As we all know. And the kids are watching the Itchy and Scratchy show.
Yeah, and this is where Marge finally gets an idea that the Itchy and Scratchy show might not be the best for children. And then Maggie does what?
Then Maggie hits Homer in the head with like this big old...
Like rubber mallet.
Yeah.
Like a hammer, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God, it was hilarious.
It was so funny.
And then it was like artistic and it showed like Homer on the ground bleeding. What it wasn't blood, it was red paint that spilt.
But it's not even close to him.
No, but I know it wasn't either. It wasn't even close to him. It was funny. So then that's where Marge is like, oh.
So television's responsible.
Hey, we were watching. What are you doing?
Well, you won't be watching these cartoons anymore, ever.
But Mom, if you take our cartoons away, we'll grow up without a sense of humor and be robots.
Really? What kind of robots?
And then what puts her over the edge?
So what she goes over the edge with is when the
owner
is like, it's not bad for kids. It's literally a children's show.
Yeah, it's a cartoon. What do you know, mom of children?
In regards to your specific comments about the show, our research indicates that one person cannot make a difference, no matter how big a screwball she is. So let me close by saying...
And the horse I rode in on, I'll show them what one screwball can do.
She did not like that.
She really didn't. So
it leads to Marge protesting out in front of Itchy Scratchy Company or whatever it's called. And who's out there with her?
Homer, Bart, Lisa, and Maggie.
And who wants to be there? Not any of those people you just named. They were all like, oh my God, what am I going to do? And then I think Reverend Lovejoy's wife came in and they started joining. And that's when, what did Lisa and Bart do?
They left.
Where'd they go?
So Bart went to Milhouse's house.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds weird. And then Lisa went to her friend's house. I don't know what the name, but...
Yeah, and then they went and watched Itchy and Scratchy.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny.
Why not?
I like stories.
All right, so then let's jump to where Marge is now a certified protester. She's leading a campaign. She is on a late-night TV show with Krusty the Clown, Dr. Monroe, and Kent Brockman. And they start blaming The Simpsons for things, and then it jumps over to Marge actually winning. And the Itchy and Scratchy cartoons have to, I want to say, calm down their violence, right?
Yeah.
So what happens? What happens the owner do now?
The owner calls her and is like, so at first we were going to do this, blah, 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 blah.
Is this Marge Simpson?
Yes?
The Marge Simpson who fixed it so cartoons can't be violent anymore?
Yes?
Listen, you're so smart. How do we end this picture? Itchy just stole Scratchy's ice cream cone and...
I'll make it a pie. Pies are easier to draw.
Okay, a pie. Anyway, Scratchy is understandably upset.
Mm-hmm.
So we figured he could, just grab Itchy and toss him in a bucket of acid.
Oh, dear.
But then we remembered that this might be interpreted as violence, which is morally wrong now, thanks to you. So what's your big idea? How do we end this?
Oh, couldn't Itchy share his pie with Scratchy? Then they would both have pie.
It's different, I'll give you that.
Yeah, and then what happens to the cartoon? And then what happens? Like a miracle. What happens?
I know. This is something Ada needs to do.
Uh-oh.
He needs to stop being on internet. This is what they did. Stop being on internet.
Mm-hmm.
Went outside and played.
They did, and they built, like, tree houses. I know.
They started painting fence.
Oh, yeah. Nelson. It was quite funny that they were doing all that stuff. And then they go to Marge because there's the Statue of David coming in. And everybody's protesting the Statue of David because the Statue of David has a naked man from the everywhere. And Marge says, ooh, that's art.
Get dressed, Marge. You've got to lead our protest against this abomination.
But that's Michelangelo's David. It's a masterpiece.
It's filth. It graphically portrays parts of the human body, which, practical as they may be, are evil.
But I like that statue.
I told you she was soft on full frontal nudity. Come on, girls.
Everybody gets mad? I don't get that. Like,
Me either.
that's mean.
People are weird. So then what happens? But what happens to those Itchy and Scratchy cartoons?
They go back to violent.
And what happens to all the kids?
They go back inside and watch cartoons.
Yep. So this episode is basically erased from history.
It really is.
I stand corrected.
All right, Cassie, what was your favorite part of the show?
My favorite part of the show was when Maggie gave Homer a glass of lemonade.
Oh, that's right. That was after Marge got Itchy and Scratchy to be nice,
Yes.
and Homer still had PTSD.
Yes. It was so funny because, I would give my dad a beer instead of a lemonade.
That's right.
When I hit him.
She does hit me quite a bit. It's actually quite scary. All right, my favorite part was when it looked like Homer died after Maggie hit him on the head with a hammer, and the paint was like running down the drain, and the table fell over, and the spice rack's still looking crappy, like on the ground, and the blood's not in the blood. The red paint's not anywhere near him. I thought that was really funny.
That was fun.
All right, the characters introduced, I think, in this episode were the owner of Itchy and Scratchy and the museum guy. You said
Yes, the French museum.
Oh yeah, that guy. Yeah. Who's your favorite character, Cassie?
My favorite character was Maggie.
Why?
Because she was just me in this episode.
I know, and actually I'm the opposite of that. My favorite character is Homer because he's on the phone talking to his boss and going, "No, my baby beat me up." This is not the worst excuse I've ever had.
I told you! My baby beat me up. Oh, it is not the worst excuse I ever thought of.
That was like my favorite part.
It was funny.
I know, Homer and Maggie stole the show in this one, I think.
Yeah.
Even though it was all about Marge.
They still stole the show.
They did.
Me fail English? That's impossible.
All right, Cassie, what's the takeaway? I can build a better spice rack. I know that.
We should try building a spice rack.
Okay, let's ask Mom how she wants to build one. Maybe we'll break it. Maybe we'll build it.
Break it.
I've got something I'd like to say.
All right, Cassie, what are you going to rate this one?
We are rating this one 8.5 pork chop.
Ooh, seasoned or unseasoned? Pork chops. Spice
seasoned.
rack? Okay, there you go. All right, that's a fun episode.
It really was.
I feel that way too.
That's the end of the show, everyone. I hope you like the show as much as Maggie likes her pacifier, or Homer likes his beer. Make sure you rate, review, and subscribe. Go to thisisfunner.com to check out some really cool shows. And please, share it with a friend.
Everything really wrapped up nicely.
Thank you all for listening to Once Upon a Time in Springfield. Please go to thisisfunner.com for more podcasts and online content. And don't forget to rate, review, and share the show with a friend.
Ugly dougly done.
With Lucky Land Slots, you can get lucky just about anywhere.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to... Has anyone seen the bride and groom?
Sorry, we're here. We were getting lucky in the limo and we lost track of time.
No, Lucky Land Casino, with cash prizes that add up quicker than a guest registry.
In that case, I pronounce you lucky.
Play for free at LuckyLandSlots.com. Daily bonuses are waiting. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.